Okay, everyone. So I am doing a reading about the COVID-19 vaccine. I just randomly got intuitively guided to do this reading as people were tweeting about it earlier. So I figured I would give just an unbiased reading on the vaccine in general. I don't know exactly what's going to come through in these messages. But yeah, I'll just give you what I see intuitively, and then you can draw your own conclusions from there. So from the Dark Mirror Oracle deck, we have the Anger and Chains card, and then we also have the Revenge card. Obviously these two cards have a very heavy energy. The Anger and Chains card, to me, I'm reading that as a lot of people being outraged by the vaccine. But you know what's interesting? I'm hearing outrage from two different sides. There are people who are outraged that they may be forced to take it or that it's becoming something that's mandatory. And then there's also people who are outraged that other people don't want to take it. So I'm seeing like a direct divide here. Like I'm seeing intuitively like a split down the middle, but both parties are very angry. So I see the people who don't want to take the vaccine. I see them being angry at the government for trying to force it, and then I see them angry at other people for trying to basically make them or guilt trip them into taking it or tell them why they should take it. And then on the other side, there's the people who want to take the vaccine and they're pissed at the people who aren't taking it. They feel like they're irresponsible. They feel like they are like conspiracy, quote unquote, conspiracy theorists. So it's a definite divide that's here. But I do see with the chains aspect of this card, I do see the vaccine being something that is going to become something that's mandatory. And I was seeing that being discussed on social media, but there was a lot of like speculation about whether or not it actually is mandatory. It's a lot of like he say, she say. I haven't actually researched too deeply into it because before I do these readings, as you all know, I try not to research too much because then my logical mind will start like thinking about what I researched and will start basically going off of what I researched instead of my intuition from the cards. So I'm seeing here with the Revenge card, this is not good. I just see a lot of people rebelling and a lot of people being very, very irate at the government and the way the government has handled this situation. With the Revenge card being here, this is like people who want to take action like against people who are trying to force the vaccines. So I'm trying to be careful about what I say. And again, you know, these readings are, you know, what is most likely to happen based off the current energy. Nothing is written in stone, but I do see like some sort of like violence, like people willing to be violent in order to not have to take this vaccine. I see some sort of violence taking place here. I want to pull one more card just to clarify that. Wealthy man card, the house card. So there are people who are, they're not exactly rich. Like these are people from like lower income communities who feel like they're being exploited, or they feel like the vaccine is being forced on them specifically because they have lower income, if that makes sense. I'm seeing people who I'm trying to figure out the best way to describe what I'm seeing here. It's like people who are not that well off financially and they feel like basically it's being forced on them because they're not that well off. Like they're being exploited or being taken advantage of. And I feel like they're willing to kind of like get violent to kind of protect themselves from having to take the vaccine. I'm seeing that very, very clearly. But with the house card being here, this also talks about people being confined to the house because the vaccine may very well be something that people have to take in order to go back to work or in order to have some sort of job, because the wealthy man card in reverse and the house card could very well talk about people losing their jobs or them not willing to go back to work because they really don't want to have to get the vaccine and they feel like it's not worth it. There's a lot of mistrust here and there's a lot of confusion here. With the Two of Pentacles being here and the you will receive news from afar, there's going to be a lot of conflicting information about these vaccines. There's going to be a lot of people who are on one side saying that it's safe, and then the next thing you know, it's information coming out about why it's not safe. But I feel like there's one side of the argument that's going to be stronger. I feel like the safe side, where people are coming out with information about it being safe, that side is being pushed more. Like, you're going to see more information about it being safe than you're going to see about it being dangerous. That's what I'm hearing here. It's like it's conflicting information, but the information about it being safe is coming directly from like healthcare professionals. That's the information that's going to be pushed the most. That's the information that the public is going to be receiving the most of. With the Lover's card being here in the reverse and serendipity, a lot of people are going to start feeling more positive about the vaccine, which I'm a little bit shocked about. A lot of people are going to start feeling much more positive about the vaccine. A lot of people are feeling like, thank God it's right on time for the new year, is what I'm hearing. Wow. It's right on time for the new year, so we won't have to go through another year like in this pandemic. Like, a lot of people are feeling very hopeful, about this vaccine, and they're not too happy about the pushback. They're not too happy about the people who are trying to, I'm hearing boycott. I don't know if there's any petitions or boycotts. I don't know. It's really, I heard that very clearly. Like, they're upset about people boycotting the vaccines, or they're upset about people pushing back against the vaccines because they feel like this is our chance to go back to normal. Like, people think that this is a way to return to normal, and they're really not too happy about the people who are trying to push other people to not get it, because they feel like if people don't get it, we're going to stay, in this pandemic. Let me pull one more. The change card is here in the reverse. So what I'm seeing here is that a lot of what you're seeing now, like the people who are for the vaccine, they're going to stick with that. The people who are against it, they're going to stick with that. It seems like people are kind of drawing a line in the sand, and like, this is my side, this is your side, and we're staying there. It's going to be very difficult to kind of sway either party in either direction. So it's going to be a lot of arguing because it's going to be very difficult. Like, if somebody said, okay, this makes sense, I'm getting the vaccine, it's going to be very hard to convince them otherwise, no matter how much information you present to them. And same on the other side. If somebody's like, I'm not getting that vaccine, it will be very difficult to sway them in the other direction. So it's like both sides are kind of like going head to head with each other. There's no respect, is what I'm hearing. There's no respect for each other. There's no understanding. It's more like a you against me sort of thing. Like, no one's going to take the time to say, I understand why you don't want to take it, or I understand why you do want to take it. It's more of just like, oh, you're a fool for taking it, or you're a fool for not taking it. So it's like two sides I'm hearing like clashing and really butting heads is what I'm seeing here. I am seeing here that the people who are taking it, they are going through some type of cognitive dissonance, though, because the people who are willing to take it, I do see them in the back of their minds knowing that something could be wrong with the vaccine, but they're pushing it out of their minds because they are so, like, they're just so badly wanting to get back to normal, is what I'm seeing here. And I say that because the concern card is here in the reverse. So that's like kind of really taking any concerns that you have and kind of just throwing it away because you really badly want something. So you don't want to even think about the negative aspects of it, is what I'm seeing here. But also I'm seeing that that's kind of on both. It's kind of on both sides, because the side of the people who don't want to take the vaccine, they also are not willing to look at how the vaccine could possibly be a positive thing. But I feel like for the most part, this message is really for the people who want to take the vaccine. They're really throwing out any type of argument against it or any negativity in their mind. They're throwing that out completely, which would make sense because they would have to throw it out in order to let someone, inject them with a needle. They would have to really, make sure that their mind is really set on this is completely fine. You see what I'm saying? So there's some cognitive dissonance there that they're trying to soothe the best way they know how. With the menstrual card being here and the 9 of Wands, I see a lot of people just really not trusting with the let your intentions be known. A lot of people feel like there's something hidden. A lot of people feel like there's something behind the scenes of what's going on. And I feel intuitively that they are right. There's something being concealed about these vaccines that the general public does not know about. It's different from the past, is what I'm hearing, because a lot of people are saying, oh, this reminds me of the Tuskegee Airmen experiments, or like when the government would experiment on civilians, and that's why we don't trust them. What I'm seeing here is that this is actually different from those things. This is something else, this is a new type of something. I'm trying to like figure out the best way to relay these messages and to stay unbiased. This is a new type of something, put it that way. This vaccine is very different than anything that has been distributed before. Very different. And it's not being disclosed to the public. I'm hearing that a lot of people, they're going to be thinking, oh, well, I've gotten the flu shot or like a vaccine for this disease or that disease. And they're saying like, oh yeah, since I got a vaccine for those things, it's fine to get a vaccine for this. And basically it's saying that those things are very different. Those vaccines are very different from this is what I'm hearing. And something's not being disclosed. I'm going to pull one more card to see what this is about. The Lover's card. What I'm hearing is that something that's different about this vaccine is that, first off, the way that it's going to be pushed is different than any other vaccine has been pushed. And I feel like it only, let me slow down, there's too many downloads. I feel like it's only different, or a large part of the reason why it's different is because of the fact that there has been like a shift in consciousness. So a lot of people are more paranoid about the government or things that are issued through the government. People, even though there are people who are still like trusting of the government, they still in the back of their mind are a bit mistrusting because of all the information that has come out, during this, shift of consciousness. So it's like the general public, the positive aspects of it does have to be pushed a bit more than in the past. Like in the past, any vaccines that were released, they were just kind of released, and the general public didn't really have to be convinced. They just kind of blindly went with it, or like there were like ads and things like that on TV and newspapers, things that that's what I'm hearing intuitively, that tells them you need to go get this shot, or they'll be told like you need to get this vaccine before you go back to school or before you put your kids in school, and it wasn't really questioned. But because of the shift of consciousness, a lot of people do question these things now. So now this vaccine has to be pushed more heavily than the past vaccines, is what I'm hearing. So it has to be made to look even better than the other vaccines. So there may be information that's put out about them that makes them seem more harmless than what they really are. We pull one more card. Community, yeah, everyone's going to be really divided on this for sure. The Temperance card in reverse and the Time is of the Essence card. So, first off, I'm seeing with the Time of the Essence card that this vaccine is not going to be available as quickly as people may think. I feel like there's something about the timing here, that there's misinformation about the timing, that it's not going to be available as quickly as people may think. So people are not going to have to make a decision about this vaccine as quickly as they might initially think they do. I'm not saying that it's going to take that long to roll out, but I do feel like there is something about the timing here that's off, or some sort of like pushback with timing, something along those lines. Let me pull one more card. The Courtship card. Oh, wow. Okay. So we have the Coffin card in the reverse, and we have the Great Fortune card. So with the Coffin card, what I was hearing immediately, intuitively, is that with the unleashing of this vaccine, less people are going to die. Like the death rate is going to go down. But even though the death rate's going down, there's some sort of downside to this as well, with the Great Fortune card being here. It's like a really strange energy that I just got with that card, because I'm not feeling joy. Like the Coffin card in reverse telling me that less people are going to die, or the death rate's going to go down. I would think that would give me like a surge of like joy, like because I'm clear sentient, so I feel the energy behind the cards while I'm reading them, and it didn't give me a surge of joy. It gave me like this weird feeling, like if the death rate's going down, then why does it still feel like something is off, or why does it still feel like something's wrong? You see what I'm saying? Let me pull one more card. Yeah, oh wow. Sun and Wealth card is here in the reverse. Thief card is here in the reverse. Mature Woman card is here. There's something off here. Sun and Wealth card being here in the reverse. That's like sudden misfortune. But it's not something that is hidden. With the thief card being here in the reverse, this is like information that is just overlooked. It's not hidden. It's out there, but it's overlooked. So misfortune happening because information is being overlooked. I do see people trying to come up with alternatives, people trying to come up with natural or holistic methods so that they don't have to take the vaccine, or so that they can. I see people actually selling different holistic methods. I also see like healthcare, or like people who like specialize in like holistic health. I see them actually profiting a lot as these vaccines roll out, because a lot of people don't want to take the vaccines, so they're looking for an alternative, is what I'm seeing here. All right, that's it. That's all my energy can handle tonight. I hope that gave you some sort of insight. I didn't really want to tap into like the government and what they're doing behind the scenes, because I feel like that's just going to drain the life out of me. That takes a lot of energy, so I just tapped into like the collective. But yeah, I hope that this was helpful, or at least mildly entertaining. So I'll see you guys in my next reading. Bye.